Welcome to Wrestling with Fitness, a monthly accountability podcast collaboration of the For Frequency's Sake Podcast Network and Shotgun Wrestling Radio. Here are your hosts, Shotgun Wrestling Radio's Zach Takis and the Wizard CZ from the card, Subject to Change.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Wrestling with Fitness. We are back with our monthly accountability podcast. I am the Wizard CZ, and joining me on this accountability journey, my good friend Zach Takis. Zach, how you feeling today, my friend?
I'm doing pretty good, my friend. How about you?
I'm feeling good. It's been a good couple of weeks for me, so I'm excited.
Yeah, man, you've actually been putting in a lot of work. I'm excited to talk to you about the progress you're making. And, you know, our guest here tonight, I actually give him a lot of credit for helping me add a little bit more of a push to my, instead of just 3 days a week that I started out doing, I give this guy a lot of credit for helping me push kind of do more of a daily type of exercise. Because every time I log on to TikTok here, there's Jason getting his daily walks in. And I'm like, God damn, if he can do a daily walk for 20, 30 minutes. I'm like, I can get my ass off the couch and do a daily walk for 30 minutes. So Mr. Jason Prentice, my friend, thank you for joining us today, man. How you doing?
Well, I didn't get my walk in this morning. I have to have a day. I have to have one.
Yep.
I was going to have it. I was going to do it yesterday. The shoot gimmick, we had a fair parade yesterday, and my boss goes, "Hey, you're walking." I said, "That's my off day, shit." And I said, all right, well, I guess I'm in jeans and a polo, walking in 90-degree weather, feeling really good. Really good. I got my exercise last night, so worth it. But yeah, we took today off, and we'll be back on it tomorrow. But glad to be with you guys. It's a fun journey that we're all underway with, right?
Absolutely it is. I know you both have been putting in a lot of work, doing great stuff. I've been more on the ball, excuse me, this last month than I have since we started this podcast, probably, arguably. But yeah, I'm excited to talk about your journey, Jason. Zach, I'm excited to catch up with you because we're making progress. We're kicking some butt. We're kicking some serious ass here, gentlemen.
That we are. I actually had my yearly physical 2 weeks ago now. And so last time I went in last year, they said my last weigh-in was 267, which was last July. But I know I weighed more than that over the winter months because we all get lazy in the winter. But I weighed in that week at the doctor at 237. So, and all my blood work came back good. My cholesterol went down. My triglycerides went down tremendously from last year. So yeah, I've been feeling pretty good, man.
Excellent. I stepped on the scale for the first time in 2 weeks last Friday, and I was down to 425, which I had been at about 436, 437. So that 399 goal that I set as my initial goal, it's more in sight than it's ever been in my opinion.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Jason, where are you at? What talk about your journey? What was it that made you decide I gotta get back in shape?
Well, I tell you what. So like, I totally relate with you about the 399 thing. Like, what started for me in 2019, I was working out for something. I was working out for a match, I think, and I realized I was out. And like 2 years prior, I had worked out for a match and I was 372, and I'm like, okay, that's not where I thought I would be. And at 372, I did a match. I'm like, man, this sucked. You know, we're in a hot, sweaty, just no air conditioning building, and it's an 8-man tag. I'm a manager who's wrestling. Okay, but the stuff that matters has to look good. For me, like everyone's like, I can look okay. You're fine. It doesn't have to be perfect. To me, I'm like, no, I want it to look as good as can make it look. Not okay, not anything minimal. I want it to be the best it could be. And I dropped about 10 pounds there. going into that match. Anytime I have a wrestling match, it's so crazy, guys. Like the amount of effort I put into it. And then, yeah, like I said, I 2019, I knew I was just not losing weight because I was drinking a lot. I was eating a lot more. Part of the problem was it's not that I was an alcoholic, but I was an alcoholic on the weekends. Like Friday, Saturday come, I had some friends who love to partake in drinking more than 10 to 15 drinks a night. And I want to party. I could do that too. Okay. And I was, oh my God, we were down in Captain's and Dr. Pep, Captain Cokes. We were down in, Rum Chata. We were doing a lot of stuff. The pandemic happens in 2020. I weigh in, and I was 425 pounds. And I said, wow. Like, think about that. 2017 to 2020, I got 372, lose 10, so 362 to 425. All in the span of 3-4 years, 5 years. So it's like, okay, problem. And I don't even look to fix it. Like, that's the thing. Like, I'm like, all right, I'm just stressed. Life sucks. Some personal things go down, and mentally I'm at my weakest. And then I meet really cool people. I get closer with people in business that I never thought I'd get close with. I meet some people like Brandon Shank Eubanks, Patrick Calhoun, and I kind of get a purpose, like with wrestling, right? And that kind of leads to a purpose outside of wrestling and outside of that. And a year goes by. Mentally, I feel a lot better. Physically, I feel really different. Like, I feel better-ish. I go back to the doctor. So February 2020, I'm 425. I go back to the doctor for whatever reason. I was getting checked out for something. Because I tell you what, guys, and maybe you can attest to this, like, being bigger and being, hey, you get some issues now and again, you worry. And I go to doc for, like, the littlest thing. And that February 2021, I go to the doctor's office, say, hey, you get checked out for whatever. And they're at scale, oh, you're 392. So I'm like, all right, well, I was a year ago. Now I'm 392? Like, what the hell is happening? And I think about it. Bars are closed. Food joints, they're closed for the most part. I didn't go out to eat a whole lot. I wasn't drinking with my friends because once the pandemic happened, dude, I was a hermit. I was staying indoors playing fucking duty all night with my buddies. Like, like, that's what I was doing. And shit, it gets hot in my back room, so I gotta have water hydrated. I'm drinking nothing but that. And I'm like, all right, I see it. So I say, you know what? I'm done drinking. Like, I had drinks there, but it wasn't anything like I had been doing. And I said, you know what? I'm done. Like, I'm gonna go cold turkey. And my goal is, if I can get to my 30th, I'll have some beer. I'll drink on that occasion. And I felt, like, right away, let me tell you, my experience with that, who were my friends and who were people I didn't need in my life, because there are some people that didn't like that I chose sober, being a drunk and drinking. I had my friend that I said, hey, I'm going to be sober. I went to a party with, and one of the friends brought over Fireball. He knew I liked Fireball, shots of Fireball. I credit Claude for the Fireball love from college years ago. He bottles after handle, and that's all we drank in college. But this friend of mine pulls up with a big thing of Fireball. He goes, you want a shot? I said, no, I'm actually getting sober. I don't care. No, but thanks for the offer. It's just one. One's not going to kill you, dude. I said, no, if I say yes now, I'll never commit. Because I know how I am. I know how I am with all this. He walks away, and then he comes back, and he puts a case of beer in front of me and says, why don't you just watch over that? And that was the time I hung out with that guy. That was the last time I hung out with him and his family, everybody else that's associated with him. Because for me, I knew that it's not going to be a support mechanism. That was going to be a person or peoples who are going to say, it's just one. Didn't need that shit. And anybody who watches this tonight, just later, even you guys, like, if you have people like that in your life, cut them. It sucks. It's not fantastic, but long term for your mental, for your physical, emotional, all those things, they are not worthy of being your friend, and they're not worth being your friend if that's shit that they're gonna do. I apologize about my language, but it gets me real hot. It's because that's not what friends do, and especially people that knew me. That it just bothers me, So I cut that out. I cut those people out, and it was easy. Like through the first month, and I'm like, well, it's been a month. And for me, like without drinking at that point was like 3 weeks. I said I can do that, no problem. Hit 3 months, and now I'm like, okay, my 30th, which was 2 years after the fact, my 30th, I will drink, but also like I hopefully I don't get wasted because like I just just in the back of my head, and then a year later in 22, I get diagnosed diabetic. I think it's the end of the world. I go, oh my God, I can't have a whole pizza to myself. I have to eat more steak and chicken and salmon and and carrots and vegetables and not like crap. And I thought it was the worst thing ever. And then I realized this is the thing that could have happened to me, is being told, hey, pump the brakes. Docs found like fatty tissue on my liver. Hey, if you lose weight, it's going to go away. So at this point, being diabetic, I got down to 372. So I lost 20 pounds, not drinking, not doing any of that for a year. So again, now 3 in 2022, started all this at 425. That's a lot. It's just a lot for my body to go through. And then get diagnosed diabetic in 22. Like, man, it's like the end of the freaking world. Like, this is just the worst of the worst. And it just slowly gets better and better. And like I said, it was a blessing in disguise that I got diagnosed when I did. And I got on medication that helped with my blood sugar. When I tested, my blood sugar was like 425. And like my A1C was 10.5, one of the highest. I don't see that. 10.5 is a lot. Okay. So all these things go down. I'm stressed. Oh my God, boys. It was horrible, but I got through it, and I felt great, and I was kind of maintaining my weight. And then the following year, because my doc's like, and this is a conversation that some people tread around because it makes them nervous to talk about it. I'm going to be very blunt. I do use Ozempic. It's for my blood sugar. It does help with weight loss. My main purpose of it is not the weight loss. It is 100% because of, I shouldn't say 100% because let's be honest. Again, it's split. But for blood sugars and everything, 1 shot a week compared to the metformin pills, which can actually be worse for you. And then people say, yeah, but Ozempic can be bad. More studies actually show that Ozempic's better than the metformin long term. Listen, it's called diabetes, not livabetes, guys. Okay. I know where I'm going. I'm going either sooner. I don't know, but either which way, the Ozempic helps. And those that think that Ozempic particularly makes you skinny, you're full of shit. That's not how this works. You have to put the work in. And that's what I did. Last year, got on Ozempic starting last year, very early in the year. My insurance, which is another bitch and a half too. Like, you don't have good insurance. And again, I know plenty of people that go through this struggle too. Like, if you don't have the insurance, there's some things you cannot afford with just health overall, which sucks. But luckily, I was able to work with my employers who are like, yeah, you get the best healthcare possible. And it didn't break my wallet getting on the new insurance plan. And then we saw that, oh my gosh, like the plan fits for what Ozempic would cost for me. and it's worked out. But last year, I started at 365 when I got everything going through me, and I said, "Great is if I have a match." That's what would motivate me a little more. So then wrestle Cole Cannon, little peek behind. That's why we did that, and we knew that was going to be the case going into May. So from May until October, I just, all right, I need to do something. I hate the treadmill. I don't know how you guys feel about a treadmill, but I feel I get more out of walking constantly outside than on a treadmill where I'm going nowhere. What's that MV line in his OG WWE song where it's the treadmill, but you ain't going nowhere? That's exactly what the hell's happening. I'm just so annoyed by the treadmill, but I'm like, all right, I'm gonna walk. And my whole like idea with it went a million different ways. Like originally, I'm gonna do an hour, whatever that looks like. I don't care. And then I got a Map My Walk, which I think is like an Under Armour gimmick. I did Map My for a while. I'm like, all right, cool. And then I took a route, and I found out that it's 2 miles from my house. I'm like, perfect, 2 miles every day. I've seen people talk about 2 to 3 miles is really good. So I'm like, all right, perfect. 2 miles every day is exactly from my back deck all the way done 2 miles. So I started doing that. And then there was times at home at night. I get my walk in the morning and I go bored at night. I'm like, screw it. I'm going for another one. Just because I'm bored. Why not? So I went out and got another one. And by the time I got to the match, I went from 360 to 365 in that range. I got down to 325. Like by show day, I was 322, but also I was like draining myself to make sure I was there. I also got sick the week before, which helped. It helped or hurt. But I got 325, and by show day 320. Super happy. Right now I'm at 335, and I've seen my doctor, and I'm like, hey, and he goes, normal. Like winter, you hate the treadmill, so you're not going to work out. But then I discovered late in the winter season that I apparently enjoy putting on the parka, looking like I live in Alaska, walking around town 2 miles in the bitter cold. I was in negative 20-degree weather walking this year because I'm like, it bugged me. It bugged the shit out of me that I couldn't get a walk in. And I'm like, I just see all the work I'm doing going away. It's not going away. Like I have the mentality I'm not eating like crap, and like I started eating like crap a little. I'm like, all right, cut this out, smart. And I've maintained this whole summer. I've maintained where I am, but I want to get back to where I was. But also, like the shit I had to do there was a lot. So like I'm very comfortable right now in where I am, and I'm just very blessed to go from being 420 down to 325, and that just pounds, is a journey, man. It's a very big journey, and it's a lot of work that I don't think people understand.
And you were talking about the drinking. I hadn't drank in probably about, I'd say almost a year. Last time I drank was Hall of Fame weekend last year, and then Hall of Fame weekend rolled around this year. I was like, screw it, I'll have a couple. I had a couple of drinks that Thursday night at Hall of Fame, and I don't know about you guys, but I don't sleep well in hotels. I never have. It's just what it is. I was up at 5:30 a.m. the next day or whatever. My brother-in-law was with me. He woke up around like 6:15 because we're early birds, and I looked at him because he's also been on like a health journey with us too, and I looked at him like, hey, do you want to go to the gym? So him and I went to the gym at like 6:30 in the morning the next day and worked it off, and I was like, that's something I would have never done previously, but it's like, well, hey, we have gym membership. Let's just go get an hour workout in and work off what we drank yesterday.
Dude, at 6:30, the only time I've ever been up at 6:30 on a Hall of Fame weekend.
It's when you haven't gone to bed.
Well, yeah. Well, I went to bed. I went to bed for an hour and a half, and I woke up. This is when the pool was still. I don't know if it is or not. I haven't been forever.
Yeah, the pool's open again.
They finally figured it out. Good on them.
Well, because the whole hotel's been completely redone probably since last time you were there.
That's right. Yeah. Well, so last the last time the pool was open. This was like the year
Yeah.
that was the last year that was good until the whole renovation stuff. Malice and I were drinking till, again, probably about 4 in the morning, and he goes, "What time's the pool open?" I said, I look up on my phone, 6:30. Oh shit! I'll see you down there. And I'm like, there's no way this is real, right? So I set my alarm, 6:50. F it. I grab a case of Bud Light out of my hotel room. I go down there, and Malice is already in the pool waiting for me. And I just toss him a beer. We're just drinking the pool. The better the story is, you talk about the gym. There was a person heading to the gym, and his name was Scott. Hand to God, he sees us two fat boys in the pool, and he does this shit and just walks right into the gym. And Malice and I are like, he's got to just be thinking, fat ass. Like, he's got to just be judging the ever loving shit out of us, because we were in that pool till probably in the morning. Like we were having we got through half the case just chilling in that pool half the time, and nobody else joined. By the way, nobody else. It was just Malice and I talking about the night before. 2 hours previous to that, and that was all before Val even took place, which I think I was a part of that too. So it was a rough day.
I bet. See, for me, you talk about going out in your parka in negative 20-degree weather. I have a Y membership.
Dude, it sucks.
What's that?
It sucks. It is the
imagine.
worst, best feeling in the world. Like when you get home, you melt. You just melt and break down. Like, wow. But they tell you, like, I don't know if you guys heard, like, hey, take a cold shower after you work out, because it's going to do all this for like your bones and your body and all this stuff. I'm doing that too last year, and I quickly, like, I did maybe about 5 or 6, and I said, nope, I'm going to take a regular grown-ass adult shower, get all this sweat shit off. I am not going to freeze my balls off in the shower after walking for 2 miles. Fuck that.
Can't blame you. For me, if I'm going to walk, I'm going to go to the Y, usually depending on the weather. If it's nice outside, I'll walk around the neighborhood. It's about going down to where the bike path is close to me and walking a loop. It's about 3/4 of a mile. And I can do that in about 20-25 minutes. But I'll walk the track down at the Y. What's really helped for me lately, though, is the Y has a pool. And I'm not ready to swim yet, but I'll run in place in the pool. They've got these water weight deals where I'll do like different exercises with those. I'll do some squats in the pool, which are a hell of a lot easier than doing them anywhere else. Let me tell you, but no, and I've been meeting with the trainer. She's shown me some different exercises to do in the water that have helped me quite a bit. The other big thing that I've really been gung-ho on is I have a subscription to DDPY. I started that. Yeah. This is week 3. I told Zach, I think I may have mentioned this online somewhere, but I changed my my program on Sunday because I wanted something that was a little more challenging. Had me doing 3 workouts a week. I wanted to do more than that, and I wanted to do something a little more that got me moving a little bit more. That, and secretly I hated the fact that in the app it goes from Sunday to Saturday, and seeing my week go from Friday to Thursday just was bugging the crap out of me. but yeah, I feel pretty good about where I'm at. I mentioned this in my article last week. Not only was I down about 10 pounds, my BMI and my body fat percentage were down a couple points as well, which that just helps motivate me even more.
It should, man. It really should. And that's the thing. Like, so great talk. I'll put them up on a pedestal because not a lot of people do. But like Maddie Starr, training the kids, we have a great talk about dedication, because there is a difference. I can be motivated, but still not do something. But if I'm dedicated, I'm more likely to do that thing, likely to keep doing that thing over and over again. So I would rather have more dedicated people than motivated people. Can they go hand in hand? Absolutely. But the dedication is the biggest part, because dedication is also like knowing, hey, I shouldn't have 2 bowls of popcorn before I go to bed. Now my problem is I found out that Pop Secret has their own brand of like popcorn in a bag now, not like you gotta pop it. They have Sam's Club sells it, and I had one taste, and I'm like, oh shit. My problem is I like to have way too much. But now I sit there, and I'm like, okay, I can have like this tiny little, just fine, and I'm good to go. But yeah, it's a bitch and a half. But the dedication part is just simply making sure that you're disciplined. You're disciplined with what you're putting in, what you're inhaling. And for me, like I lost a little bit of sight of that over the summer early on, but also at the same time, I'm not going too far off the wall. Like I'm not having, pizza after pizza, or, there was one pizza I had. I'm like, oh, this is really good. And I found out the carb count after the fact. I'm like, never again. Because like for me, diabetic, like the biggest thing is like the carbs. Like, hey, how many carbs does this have? And I can have, for me, my docs say, hey, like you can do 180 total for the day. It's just tough. It can be really tough, especially when you're on the road for shows. I mean, we're in a lot of shows.
Mm-hmm.
So that's, and poster hanging and whatever, like media days and whatnot. It's like, okay, that's a lot of travel. If I'm on the road, where am I going to get carbs that aren't going to be bad carbs, but help me get to where I need to be? And so I learned a lot about that early on. But like for me, I love pizza. Tacos is an easy thing, because instead of having 6 or whatever, I have 3.5. I'm good, and I got a Taco Bell for the next day, but I have meat, which the carb count on that is 0.5. And then the cheese and the vegetables, like there's not much to it. Now you put chips in there for the Taco Bell, that's where you're getting carbs and whatnot. So it's just having the knowledge of that is huge. Though I love Walmart pizzas. If you like really crazy pizza, my advice is have a Walmart pizza. They have a thin crust. It's like 60 carbs, but you feel super full afterwards, and it's super satisfying. And instead of downing, a pizza that's like the size you get at Godfather's for triple, quadruple the carbs, you can have this one tiny pizza that's like, at first you kind of scuff at it, you're like, all right. Afterwards, you're like, oh, that was fucking good. But I get what I want out of it. It just, again, it goes down to the discipline and the dedication of knowing, okay, and you can listen. I'll say this too. I think that some people do need to have breaks. Like it's okay to be like, you know what, I'm going to indulge in insert whatever, food joint here, or whatever food, period, right? They're like my family, we love our scratch cupcakes or cookies, etc. You got Hertz Donuts, you got all sorts of places you can go to in the Midwest, unfortunately, for stuff like that. But I think you need to have some breaks, but it's not like hey, we got a week where we're going to eat like this, and then I'll get back on it, because out of 10, you take that long off, you ain't getting back on the train anytime soon. And that's rough, So knowing that myself is a huge piece of the puzzle. And yeah, like I said, it's been an interesting, but the dedication is a huge piece to what we do.
Jason, let me ask you this. You talk about your love of pizza. Have you tried any with cauliflower crust?
Yes, so one of my buddies who owns a bar, it was kind of funny. He got the bar, and then I stopped drinking, and he always go into his place, because he's like, I get a bar. I know how much you like to drink, because we always go drink. And then you stop drinking? Yeah, that happens. He goes, I still got food. I said, I don't eat as much. What can you do for me, Mike? Like he wasn't happy about it. But he's introduced a bunch of cauliflower pizzas, and like, yeah, if you really like that helps you. Also, I had some of the stuff he's made at his bar, and it's great. I've had other different brands like with their type of cauliflower, homemade flour as well, and it's been a journey of just figuring out what works and what doesn't. Like low carb tortillas, like you can make yeah, but you can also make some really okay, pizzas with it too. Like crazy the stuff I find, but it's so tough, man. Like I said, steak. Like my go-to is just like, hey, what am I gonna have for supper tonight? Steak and a small baked potato. I like my hash browns, which is a problem because they carb heavy sometimes. But like, depending on how much you do, but give me steak and hash browns, and I'm good. The chicken, salmon. It's funny because like I had salmon carrots and I kind of mix them together when I do it because they taste way better that way. I don't know why, but I didn't think I'd like salmon, and now I'm like, oh, dude, I can have salmon all the time. I don't give fish. I've never been anti-fish. When Lent comes around, we don't eat meat. During Lent, so I have fish, and I as a kid I got tired of it real quick. When I was an adult who's a diabetic, I crave those Fridays where I'm like, all right, what kind of fish is on the docket tonight, baby? Like, I'm that old man waiting for the fish Fridays to come around, boys. Like, I don't give a damn. Like, it is good, but it is wild too. Like going back, not to harp too much like on the health, the medical stuff of it. The insurance in our country, and this is getting political, I'm sorry, but the insurance and how things work in our country is so messed up when you look at the system, because I go in, they have diabetes classes, by the way, and they educate you on how to use the gimmick to poke yourself, what kind of foods are good, and okay, simple things. And then there's like, oh, well, you got to do 4 classes and then you're educated. They're not required, but you should really take them. Well, who's new to this world, it's like, oh, you're scared to shit because you're like, I don't want to die. I know it's called diabetes, but I don't want to die right away. Like, what the hell? And then you find out it costs almost $350 a class because your insurance doesn't cover it. And it's like, those kinds of things, in my opinion, should be not even a thought. Like the things that people have to go through to take care of themselves, and then you get told. I did like 2 classes. I had 2 left, and I hit the provider up, and I said, "Listen, I get it. Don't eat this. Do eat this. Don't be a big old lard and just do these things." Yeah, that's pretty much what the classes were. But I really think you should finish. Click. Like, yeah, no, we're good. I get it. Don't eat like ass the whole time. I understand it. And I was just so frustrated. I'm like, are you serious? Like, I don't know. Healthcare in our country is a huge thing to me now after all that. It's something I wish was improved upon, because I think there's so many people that go through health issues. And listen, some people sit there and say, yeah, but you bury yourself in it. You do it yourself. Listen, my issue, 1,000%. I chose to drink out of control. I chose to eat like garbage. I chose to do that. 1,000%. There are some people, unfortunately, though, who don't have a great metabolism, who don't have that option. Their families don't have that option. People should be able to afford the healthcare options, or at least classes like that. They can get into better shape and get better mentally, physically, emotionally.
And
oh, go ahead.
Getting to the food portion of it. So what I've started doing is I started doing a lot of like high protein things. Like I found quite a few people on Instagram that post really awesome high protein recipes. I'm going to get ready to send both of you one that I'm going to try out here soon. It's high protein sheet pan pizza.
Yep.
So I just sent it to both of you, but I love those type of recipes, like you can do on a sheet pan or just slow cooker recipes too, and like those are especially because it makes multiple of it. So you do a big batch and boom, you have meals for the next 10 days or what have you. And
you know what though? Even then, one of the best things I saw. Shout out to my friend Callie. She had issues with eating, and it's not to put her story out there. It's like she's like, hey, like here she told this story a couple years ago on Facebook. It was really early on when I was going through diabetes, and it made me say, that's okay, that's awesome. That's a good mentality to have. She would go through it where she felt bad she left food on the counter. Like she made something and she had extra and she felt like she had to eat all of it. And she goes, it's okay to throw stuff away. It's okay where if you make a pizza, it's okay to have 7 slices don't get eaten. It's okay to get rid of it. If you ate 3, you're like, yeah, but I made all this. You can get rid of it. You don't have to eat all that. So that was part of the mentality too, that I picked up on. And there's times where zucchini lasagna, what was zucchini for the lasagna noodles. My mother likes to make a big batch at the house. There's sometimes there's a big left, and you're just like, well, it is what it is. To get rid of it, it sucks because you waste some money, but I'd rather waste that than, eat something I don't need to eat just to get rid of it. So that's one thing I wanted to point out too. And shout out to Callie Dahlhauser. She like I said, she had that story a few years ago on Facebook, and I'm like, that changes, that opens my eye, and it's such a silly, like it's such a small statement, but then you think about it, yeah, no, you're right. Like it's okay. I don't need to finish all of that. It's okay. Even if you take a couple slices of pizza, you have 3 on your plate or whatever, you get through 2 and you're like, oh, I got 1 more left. You don't have to finish it. And that's how I started to act like with food. It's a great mentality when you think like that.
My biggest issue is with food. Always has been, always will be. It's a comfort. It's a reward. It's I'm down. I need to eat. I'm taking that in small steps. I'm more focused on portion control right now than changing. Big. Because here's the thing, I'm making a lot of strides with the workouts, and I'm grateful that I am. I'm excited because I feel like I'm getting into a good routine right now. But if I throw too much on my plate, quote unquote plates, pun intended, it's gonna make me want to stop. It's going to be too much at once. So I'm trying to ease my way into better eating habits as far as what food I'm eating. But the first step is portion control, which I've been mostly better about. There are hard days where I'm not, but it's something that I've taken control of a lot better than I have in the past.
Portion's my issue right now. Like when I got diagnosed, I was portion. It was rationing, but whatever the bag says, this is how many carbs it has. Awesome. Like nuggets, I'm gonna have this many. It says I can only have 5 out of the bag because this. But I have this many like carrots, and I can do this many. Like listen. I suck at math. I became a math wizard. Like that shit. Like thank smart ass mom because she was like, hey, well, if you add the 2 and carry the 1, that's what it is too. Like. Having that support system, that's part of the thing too. I know it's super bland, everybody talks about, but having the right support team. Like I said, I had people in my life that didn't want to support me when I started getting sober. And it sucks that you have to do that to people, but it's a necessity. I had friends out that I knew for years because they drank so heavily, and they weren't even people that were trying to shove it onto me. But I said, I'm too afraid to be around those people because I know how control we get as a unit. It's not on them, but like with the food though. So like the proportion thing is great. I think it just comes down to dedication. It takes a lot to be self-aware. CZ, that like you said, do too much too soon. I'm just gonna say, F it. Like I'm done. That's where though the dedication is going to overpower it, where if you just tell yourself, and it's easier said than done, and I've had this conversation with people, like, me and shout out also Bayless will be like, how the hell did you do it? Like, how did you do this? How did you do that? I mentally had to break myself. And it sucked. It sucked. Again, I know the kind of person I can be. I've been the guy that gets on this and it's a kick for a month, and then I go back to my bullshit. This has been something that for the last, 2, going on 3 years now, is my life. Is my life. I never want to. And then, like, I realized this year, I usually only drink now after I'll go to shows. It's nice in town. I have a DD. I don't have to worry about certain, things. Like, I stick to one of the things my diabetes coach taught. She's like, men, typically you guys can have 1 to 2 drinks. Women, we only recommend a drink. And so I stuck to that for a long time. I go out, and after my 30th, because I did make it to my 30th, by the way. I made it to my 30th. I made it to the Dirty 30, and let me just say, oh my God, we broke a lot of rules that day. But also, as hungover as I was, you goddamn right, I went out and I got my 4 miles the next day as a, hey, you had fun, you're back on your shit though. And it literally, like, the next day after my 30th too, like, here to drink. I didn't have that, oh man, like, fill me up, doc. I gotta get my fix. Like, I'm saying, if I never drink again, I'm happy. Doesn't matter to me. And since then, again, I've only drank after I'll go to shows, but I'll do 1 or 2. And there's been maybe 2 instances where I've gone over the line with it in my head. It's a line. It's not like I'm getting sloshed or, drinking and driving, anything crazy like that. But it's like, man, I had 5 drinks. I broke my minimum of 2. Like, I'm a little mad at myself. But the next day, I always, if we're gonna do it, great. But we're also gonna earn it. And you have to have that mentality going in. So that's, again, just something that people may not understand too, is the drinking side of it, because it's hard to pick that. And that's a huge thing, like the empty calories and drinking, even soda. Soda's such a shit thing. A lot of the zero sugars, which, teas and whatnot. But even then, I think I just want to get rid of soda, go straight water, because I go through a case. If you look at my garbage can, it's just nothing but water bottles. Back here in my collector's room playing video games till 2 in the morning, but I'm instantly down in a water because it might get warmer. I just want a bottle of water, just to have it. But yeah, just it's a lot of information.
Absolutely. Jason, I want to go back to something you said. You brought up twice now. It made me think of a quote that I don't remember if I heard it or I read it. You talk about cutting people out of your life that aren't good for you. Quote that I heard, I'm going to paraphrase because I don't remember the exact quote, but essentially you become the people you spend the most time with, or you become
100%.
more like them. So it's a very good point to, if people are not healthy for you and not helping you on your journey, yeah, you have to let them go. And it may suck because it may be someone you've known for 20 years. But if he's hurting you in your journey to better yourself, then he's not a good friend. He's not a good person for you.
It was painful because the guy who I knew, I was in middle school, high school, even earlier than that. So I've known him for a very long time at this point. And I just sat there and I'm like, gosh, like, what kind of person sits there and basically calls somebody a pussy because they won't drink, because they want to get better mentally, all that? Like, what the hell? And, I said, I stopped. I didn't even have a conversation with another group of friends. And there's like, do you hate us? I'm like, no, I don't hate you. I explained it to them, and they they're a little hurt, but they said, we understand it though, because they realize, like, drinking issues, and they continue to have drinking issues to this day. And like, oh, we're not going to do that. We're not. And then they go back into it. Like, I don't judge them because it is a tough thing. Alcoholism is a very, very tough thing. Father's gone through it, not to put him on blast, but I've had other family members that have gone through it, and it's very difficult to overcome for some, and it's just a part of their culture, part of their ways, and that's fine. But yeah, the one friend who just tried to just sway me to do it. Like I said, not having those in my life has been a blessing for me. Filling myself with the right is a huge part of that. Maddie Starr, I'll say it. Brent Fillmore, Uncle Devin, Uncle Terry, Devin Carter, Shank. We had our gaming group, the Spice Boys, Jimmy Wild, Jackson. Like there was a bunch of us. TJ Wilt, old Mason Reaper. Like there was like 20 of us, and we communicated every single day about just anything, right? So we just talk about wrestling. We talk about life. And that's the thing too. It wasn't even like wrestling. It was like a lot of it was just what are we doing that day. And you talk about accountability, which I know you guys have that going on too. Like here's what I'm doing. You're writing on the blog. You're doing these shows, all these things to be accountable. Like that was our accountability of just keeping each other in line and making sure we're getting through the day, whether it's something physically for me, weight loss wise, or it's something mentally, emotionally for one of the other guys. Like that shit helped so survive the pandemic and helped us thrive out of the pandemic as well. We felt normal. Like we had that normal line of communication and still had a great support team where I check in and say, hey boy, with not drinking, here's where I'm at with my exercise. And that team to this day, those are guys who, and they'll support me and they'll celebrate me. Even when I celebrate me, they'll do it. And when I really need them to help me, they're there for me too.
Jason, I'm thinking back to kind of when we were all coming out of the pandemic, and the first like big event we had out of the pandemic was the 2021 Hall of Fame weekend. And for whatever reason, you didn't make it, and it might have been because of your newfound sobriety. Because let's face it, when you're at the Hall of Fame weekend, a lot of it is drinking. And I remember sending you a message saying, "Hey, we miss you. Wish you were here," because it was the first year we were there without Greg, and I said, I'll have a drink for you. And you're like, well, I don't drink anymore, but I'm going to pour it out anyway. And it's like, honestly, when you said that for me, I'm like, I didn't even think twice, but I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. He doesn't drink. I'm like, okay, cool. It's like, yeah, you shouldn't judge people based on that. Like if somebody doesn't want to drink, whatever. Like it's not.
Yeah. I literally poured one out for Greg. Yeah. I took a video. Yep. I shared it on Facebook page. Yep. That was right around the time my uncle had passed away. And so it was like it was a rough, and that was the thing too, like mom passed, I was super just down, and it would have been easy. It would have been really easy to drink, but Jim, he was so proud that I stopped because there's a lot in our family, my grandpa Joe, Bobby Joe, he was addicted to it. He was addicted to a lot of things. Uncle, when I got down south, like I know, listen, hey, this is a wrestling and fitness journey. Let's be honest about wrestling constantly. But my uncle got down to Tennessee. He saw a lot of potential in me, but it was also because there were a lot of guys that relied upon drugs and alcohol to get them through shit, whether it was medication or not. There were a lot of guys who needed their fix, and I was one kid that didn't drink a whole lot. I didn't drink on the road because it just never happened. I looked for the parties. Don't get me wrong. I looked for, hey, when I got down south, I'm like, hey, what's the culture like? I maybe had a drink one time down there, and I've been down several times. But my uncle saw me as just a kid who was clean and just stay that way. And right before he passed, I was telling him how I was sober, and he goes, keep it up. And this is right before he passed, and last thing he told me, just keep stepping, just keep going, just keep making him proud with that stuff. So that was another reason why, you go about this stuff and you think about who you're doing it for. And it's not just like I can do it for anybody. The biggest person I need to do it for is myself. And, having those motivators certainly helps.
Wow. And Jason, we're gonna pause here because we're close to an hour. I want to thank you because you've hit home with me quite a bit. Um, I can tell you're kind of getting emotional. I'm feeling the same way.
It's all
But
good, man. It's all good, man.
we like to be respectful of everybody's time. That's why we try to keep things around an hour. And I know you, Zach, and I all want to promote something coming up in
Oh
a
yeah.
few weeks. So I'm going to throw some graphics up. I will let you gentlemen talk about, Jason, your show. Zach, I'll let you talk about the Delta Dome coming up. And then we're going to make a big announcement for a show that we've got coming up here, that we're all a part of, that I'm excited for. But yeah, I'm going to throw up a couple graphics. Jason, I'm going to let you talk first and tell us about the show this weekend.
Yeah, so this is the third edition of our county fair show. It is so to have a home game, and especially at the fair. This deal came together years ago when we did our first one, and we didn't know what would happen. It's the first time that wrestling's been at the fair in a long, long time. 3 years ago in the fair here in Algona, they're like, "Hey, let's try it out. Why not?" And we got the deal done, and it was the highest attended afternoon event that they had in several years. So we did it again last year, same situation. This year, I think, will be no different. This show comes after a history-making downtown show we had just a month ago, where we had 415 people in downtown Algona, which is the second highest attended AEW show ever. It is the most attended Algona show we've ever had. So we have a lot of things growing in Algona, which is a town that people say is dead for wrestling. People will sit and say, why bother? My hometown has treated me very kindly. We promote it vastly different than anybody that's ever, done wrestling in Algona. And that's not a knock on anybody. It's just, there are different little things and nuances that we do, and connections that may not be there with other people. And that, again, it's not a knock. It's just we have something that we're building out of that and the partners that we have. So this weekend, Death Dealer takes on Brandon the Shank Eubanks for the AP Championship. Two of the top, baby faces in Algona and in our company. They're going to go one-on-one. It's a historic match, and people are getting it for free. It's free at South County Fairgrounds. And Ugly will be in action as well against Jason Wolf, who makes his AEW debut. He, of course, is from the Madhouse Academy and trained by Cooper. Jason, he says, going to end the career of Ugly. I'll believe it when I see it. I hear a lot of youngsters say that stuff, but interesting. Jackson Slater will be in action. Also, we will see, I'm trying to think who's all on the show. Victor Payne, Damon Dillinger. We're going to see a lot of people take to the South County Fairgrounds Saturday afternoon. It goes from 2 until 4. It's absolutely free. And then afterwards, we're going to head up to Pepsi in downtown Algona for a couple of adult beverages, and we're going to watch SummerSlam there as well. So we're excited about this weekend and what's ahead for the rest of the month of August.
And there's a lot going on this weekend, whether it's SummerSlam, whether it's you guys in Algona, or Zach, I'm going to let you take this one. Our good friend Austin Bayless putting on a show in Delta, Iowa.
That's right. We got pro wrestling returning to the Delta Dome in Delta, Iowa. I've heard a ton of stories about the history of wrestling at the Delta Dome, so I'm super excited to finally get there and experience the show. We got a great lineup here. Earlier in the day, Chris Masters is going to be holding a training seminar from 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. Cost for that is $50. If you're interested in that, head over to Central Empire Wrestling Facebook page. We have Kelsey Magnolia versus Sage Hale. We have the 319 team of Jay Wesley and Ethan Everhart versus the team of Jimmy Wild and Bryce Jordan. That's a match I think has match of the year potential. Like, you want to talk about a group of high flyers. Jason, I know you're no stranger to either of these guys. I think that match has all the potential in the world to be a show stealer, not just for us, but for really anybody this year in the state of Iowa. So that's going to be super exciting. And we also have in our big main event, Austin Bayless is returning to the ring, or CEW ring, for the first time in 3 years. Team with the CEW champion Jared Thumb and Steve Shetler from Steve Shetler Media to go up against Rory Fox, Donnie Pepper Cricket, and Iceman. We have Brian Gott versus Damian Saint. I mean, this is just going to be a really fun night of pro wrestling in Iowa. I'm also extremely happy it's not going to be 100 degrees because, Jason, I'm sure you're aware there's no air conditioning in the Delta Dome. So when we were having this heat wave here, I was like, oh, God, we're going to die. But thankfully, the heat wave is come and gone.
And
Yeah, I think you're, as a weatherman, I think you're getting cooler days ahead.
that's a good thing for all of us, I think. Couple more things. I want to promote a couple things on Card Subject to Change because we have a big moment coming up tomorrow. It is our 3rd birthday. Technically, the birthday is on Friday, and the graphic doesn't want to come up. There it is. But we are celebrating early due to circumstances where Nick is not going to be available Friday. But tomorrow, if you're in the Quad Cities, come out to Kavanaugh's Hilltop Bar and Grill. We'll be there at 6:30. We're excited. We're doing a live podcast at 7. And we're giving away prizes, too. We've got some prize packages put together. While you guys are going to be enjoying live independent wrestling, I am going to be at the Highview Lounge enjoying SummerSlam, both night 1 and 2. And Nick and I will review those. Night 1 on Saturday, night 2, and probably the Raw after SummerSlam on Tuesday of next week. But now, last but not least, this is our big announcement here. And I'll kind of talk about what we're doing, but I'll let you gentlemen talk about the show itself. On August 23rd, pretty much every promotion in the Iowa Midwest area is going to be together for Convergence, Heroes for Hudson. And not only is this epic showdown for all of the wrestling companies in Iowa, but we're bringing the 2 Count down from Minnesota. Zach Takis and I, we will be doing a Worlds Collide or Podcasts Collide event live show before the big wrestling event. I'm excited for that, gentlemen. I don't know how you feel.
Yeah, this one I can't wait for, man. This is going to be super exciting just from some of the early matchups that we've seen get announced. A lot of them are starting to get announced yesterday and today. It's just going to be a very exciting night. There's a really great silent auction that's going on that we've already seen a couple of really great items from Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch get up. I'm actually going to be putting up one of my WWE encyclopedias that has a ton of autographs in it. I also have a Kurt Angle autographed autobiography I will be putting in the silent auction as well. So that's going to be 2 more really awesome items that hopefully we can raise some money for this family who's going through something that, if you have children, it's unfathomable of what they had to go through. And, hopefully we can raise a ton of money for them while also having a really, really fun time.
Yeah, I mean, this whole thing is just building and building. I have hopefully information coming next week about some items that maybe one of the top 3 major promotions in the USA will be donating to us. So I'm really happy about that. Working to just finalize that here over the next days. But it's all for the Hadley family. And one of the things I get asked, hey, how do we help this event, even if we're not going to be there? So, well, you can buy a GA seat. You can buy a seat, period, and if you want to give it out. Or you can donate to the GoFundMe. They smashed that goal of 5,000. They already got well over 7. That family means a lot to me. It means a lot to our wrestling community. The work that Ryan has put in for Absolute Pro Wrestling is super appreciated. His efforts in Impact Pro Wrestling, his efforts all around, have always been appreciated. Kid who, I say he's a kid, he's a little old me, but in wrestle years, he's a kid. He's just somebody who loves this business through and through. And I cannot imagine anything that his wonderful family have had to endure during this time. And for us, this is a way to help him. Anybody who, can help out with the system, it's crazy because I know like part of the promotion on it. It's like, 6 the best in Iowa. But you got SCU, the Rollins and Becky thing is so amazing that they're helping out with that. They don't have to. They don't know Ryan. They don't know his family. They've never booked him on a show. Like he's never worked with him. But that shows the togetherness of the wrestling community, and anybody who tries to knock that or talk against that, I can't wait to see them personally in person. And that's all I'll say about those things. But the big thing is that August 23rd, podcasts collide, and then worlds collide with 6 wrestling promotions on one event. First time, it's not the last. I hate that this is why we're doing it. Because let's be honest, I'd rather be doing it for any other reason, guys. I really would, and I think everybody agrees with that. I wish we were doing it for completely different reasons, and hopefully in the future we can. But for now, for Hudson, we're doing it for the Hadley family, and I'm really excited about what's to come. There's a lot of matches. Clint Dye's trying to just get that Mean Gene ticket going, by the way. He's like, what matches we got going on there? I gotta put it on the hotline at 7. That's right.
900,
It's Bryce Jordan versus AJ Smooth, Red X Social X title. It's happening. Get the information from Clint Dye, but it's 7 matches. And there's some that's tight-lipped. We can't say much about it, but there's some that we will talk about. But there's a lot of we got like close to 40 people wrestling on the show already. All have donated their time, which is super amazing of them. They don't have that declined because they don't want they hey, I get it. Who wants to donate time? I understand it. They want to donate other ways. Good for them. But the people that are involved with this top to bottom, I know we're well over time. I feel like this is. Have you watched Unreal yet, Zach?
I'm about an episode and a half in because we were.
Yeah, CZ, have you watched? You've watched as well.
I'm about I've got through half of the first episode. I'm going to be watching some of it when we get off.
I feel like this is the segment with Abyss where Punk and Rollins go over on time, and it's just cut this part out. Cut the part out where you talk nice to promoters, Mike. Mike, cut the part out. Just tell him to cut the part out where he says that he really likes working with Pringle and Dickens and Raven and Malice and all those. Cut that out. Just go right to ZZ and talk about how cute he looks today. Just go right to that, man. Right for the finish. All right, we're going for this is it right here. We're good. We're good.
Well, the funniest part about
I felt like we were at there.
The funniest part about that scene in particular, seeing it float around on social media the next day, everyone was like, "Oh, Bruce was so mean." I'm like, "What clip were you guys watching? Bruce wasn't even that bad." I'm like, "What were you
Bruce,
guys
you could tell
watching?"
you could see Bruce is a little annoyed, but it's
Right.
not like he's like chewing him down or dressing him down. It's just like, hey man, everything was over tonight. Everything was overproduced over this.
Yeah.
Like it's fine.
Yeah.
Like if you're gonna do it, tonight's the night.
Yeah.
Why not, kid?
Yeah, everyone
And
was,
Regal coming over.
yeah.
Regal confirming, hey, it's good, man. Don't worry about it. Like that was awesome. I love seeing that.
Yeah, it just made me laugh.
Yes.
It just made me laugh seeing everybody on the wrestling Twitter yesterday going, "Oh my god, Bruce is so mean." I'm like, that wasn't that. If you think that was mean, oh my god,
Right?
Wait till they hear about what Vince has done.
Just don't get in a car with him.
Ugh.
100%.
Well, gentlemen, this has been a great time. I've enjoyed our conversations. Jason, thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah.
Definitely look forward to checking back in with you down the road, see where we're all at. Zach, any final thoughts from you tonight?
I don't believe so. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, here, CZ, next month we're catching up again with our good friend Storm Thomas.
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken. So yeah, we're gonna welcome Storm Thomas back into the pod here next month for kind of like a 6-month check-in with him. So that'll be a lot of fun here next month. And yeah, it's gonna be a busy month of wrestling here for us.
I'm excited. Lots of good wrestling coming, and I'm going to be at as many shows as I can coming up in August. I may not be in Algona or in Delta this weekend, but I'll be there in spirit with you guys.
Appreciate that. great. We'll have to talk about
Absolutely.
Waterloo, the pre-show podcast. 'Cause that's a lot of traveling for 2 weeks. I get it.
3, because I'm going to go to Bridge City.
That's the first weekend in September. Yep.
Damn.
But yeah, I'm excited. Back in Waterloo for APW for another pre-show podcast. May or may not have my card subject to change co-host with me. I cannot confirm because we haven't. He doesn't look that far ahead.
I don't either. Yeah. Same.
I'm one of those planning schemer guys, so I've got card subject to change booked out into October.
Listen, we just are hanging for 2 shows back-to-back weeks, and it's the longest. I've never done the poster hanging this early out, but I'm like, yeah, I want to start doing it this way. And it's like, it's weird because I have 2 weeks off now. I mean, minus this week, we have the rest show, but I have 2 weekends off where I'm like, I might just hang out with the family. I might just do this, or I might sleep. I might just rest. I don't know, or walk.
Well, that is going to wrap things up for this edition of Wrestling with Fitness. Got to, again, thank our guest, Jason Prentice. Is it all right if I call you the Kingpin of APW?
Oh, man.
Is that fair?
Bam Bam Bundy says, if I ever hear that again, I'm beating the crap out of you. So please do. Because as soon as I put that in the chat, and he got so salty. And I said, see, I didn't say shit. He said it. So if he said it, it's got to be true. It's got to be true.
I am a wizard after all.
Wizard CZ.
Well, gentlemen, for that's going to wrap things up. Like I said, for my co-host Zach Takis of the Shotgun Wrestling Radio, go ahead and check him out. He's on Spotify, Apple, YouTube. Check him out wherever you get your podcasts. You can find me on Card Subject to Change on same places, Spotify, Apple, YouTube. But that's going to wrap things up again. And I've said that 5 times now, probably. But
one more time.
Thank you all. That's going to wrap things up. That's my new catchphrase. Everybody, I hope you have a great night, and we'll see you next month right here for another edition of Wrestling with Fitness.
This has been a For Frequency's Sake Podcast Network production. For more great content,